So what's up guys, I am Blackopsamazing, welcome back to another zombies video, and today I thought I'd clear up a few things in the community. And so I'm going to be taking 3 questions, 3 common misconceptions in zombies, and just try to clear them up, try to answer them. So as always, if you enjoyed today's video, a like rating at any time you feel like it would be very much appreciated, but if not, you don't have to if you don't want to. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest zombies videos on the channel, and also click the bell notification icon as well. But without further ado, when you're ready, let's get into it. So as I said, I'm going to take 3 mysteries, 3 things that we're not really clear about in zombies, and answer them. So the first one, and also the oldest, is to do with Kino der Toten. Of course, as I'm sure you know, in the theatre area we have these barrels, and inside of these barrels we can see faces. We had them in the original, and we also see them in the new version as well. Now, it's a common theory, and it's believed by a lot of people, that actually these are the Nova 6 crawlers. These are them before or whilst they were being experimented on by Group 935. They were shoved in these barrels and eventually turned into what we see in Kino. But is that really correct? Though of course we don't really know much about the Nova 6 crawlers. We think of course that they were created by Group 935 or possibly were Vril, but that's pretty much it. As I said, we believe this is them in the barrels. But if you take a closer look at their faces, they really don't look like Nova 6 at all. They pretty much, especially since they have eyes, look like zombies, and that's exactly what I believe they are. These are zombies and not Nova 6 crawlers. We know that Kino der Toten was the main facility where the zombies were being created. In the original timeline, Dr. Maxi signed a deal with the Nazis in which Group 935 would provide the Nazis with an undead army, and in return, the Nazis would provide Group 935 with the funding they needed. And so, they gave Group 935 this abandoned theatre, and then Maxis travelled there along with Sophia and began to create Group 935's undead army. So Kino der Toten is the place where Group 935 created the zombies for the Nazis. They made them here, and after doing that, it seems they put them in these barrels, ready to be sent to the Nazis for them to use. But as we know, in the end, they were never sent because of the events that happened under Reese with Richtofen trying to kill Maxis and Samantha. And so these zombies that were created for the Nazis were never sent to them, and are still, till this day, preserved, trapped in these barrels that we see in Kino der Toten. So these are zombies, not Nova 6 crawlers. Anyway, on to the next common misconception in zombies, which is something that even now a lot of people are confused about, is what was Richtofen doing to his dead body in the Giant? When the Primus Richtofen walked out of the teleporter in the Giant and then shot his older self in the head, after that we can see just for a few seconds it is teased to us that Primus Richtofen bends down over his dead body and does something. But what he does has been a mystery for a very long time, and a lot of people are confused. So some people believe that Primus Richtofen bent down over the dead body of his Ultimus self to collect his soul inside of the summoning key. We know at this point in the Giant, Richtofen had the summoning key, and as we later learn, he then went on to Der EISENDRACHE, Zetsumonoshima and Garrett Karovi, and used that to collect the souls of the dead versions of the other characters. So that would have also explained what he was doing to his dead body in the Giant. He was collecting a soul inside of the summoning key. But then since we had the Zombies comics, a lot of people also believed that actually he wasn't collecting his soul, and what he was doing was resurrecting his dead self. He did something to his Ultimus self, injected his Ultimus self with element 115, and that would have turned him into a zombie. So people believe that Primus Richtofen instead bent down over his dead self to resurrect undead Richtofen. That's another theory. But what really happened? Well, if you listen carefully, we're actually told what he did all the way back in Der EISENDRACHE. Primus Richtofen said this:
"This subject will one day wreak havoc across the entire universe. He cannot be allowed to live."
This wasn't how it was supposed to go. We were supposed to secure the package and be in and out clean. Instead, the whole thing's been one disaster after another. I should never have trusted you, Richtofen. Never!
You should trust me, Dempsey. You all should. This artifact has the power to contain and preserve the subject's soul. Your soul. But it can only be done after the moment of death, just as you saw me do to my other self.
So he tells Dempsey that the ultimate version of himself needs to die and be collected inside of the summoning key, just like he did to his dead body in the Giants. So if you listen carefully, Richtofen told us exactly what he did in the EISENDRACHE. He was bending down over his dead body to collect his soul inside of the summoning key. But as we know, he didn't actually do it, he was just pretending. Eddie, of course, was already a kid in the house, and so didn't need to collect his soul in the Giant. He was pretending to do that, so it convinced the other characters when it came to them doing it to themselves. So hopefully, again, that clears it up for some of you guys who were maybe confused. And then the final thing I want to clear up is to do with the Chronorium. Now, a lot of people are confused on exactly what the Chronorium is. Of course, it's a book, but what is it all about? What does it do? Well, the Chronorium, I believe, wasn't written by a specific person. In fact, as we know, as it was recently revealed to us, whoever reads the Chronorium, it then writes out everything that involves them in each and every timeline in each and every universe. For example, the Chronorium that was given to us, the one that we read, is from the perspective of Dr. Edward Richtofen. If you read the Chronorium now, everything in there is to do with him. It contains everything that he was involved in, everything that he's linked to, everything to do with Richtofen, from premise all the way back in the 1300s to now in present day, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3. But let's say if Nikolai, Takeo or Dempsey were to open the Chronorium, what's inside that book would then change, and it would then be from the perspective of them. If Takeo was to read this, some of that information that we see in there wouldn't be there. It'd be changed. It would now involve Takeo, so without a doubt, we'd see new information in there that we've never heard of before. Maybe about Takeo's past, his parents, his family. Obviously, we'd still hear about the Apothecans, the Keepers, Richtofen, Nikolai and Dempsey because that's what he's involved with. But like I said, a lot of information would be changed. If, for example, Misty was to pick it up, the information in there would then be rewritten from her perspective. So we'd see a lot of information to do with her. So I think you guys kind of get what I mean. So hopefully that clears up a lot of confusion that you guys may have had. And that was what I wanted to do in this video, just clear up 3 things in the zombies community. If there's anything that you're really confused about, then possibly I could do another video, but I don't want them to be simple things. I really want them to be common mistakes that are in zombies that we can actually clear up. But anyway, if this video has helped you in any way, a like rating would be appreciated. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest zombies videos on the channel, and also click the little bell notification icon as well to be part of the notification squad. But of course, I will see you all in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.